This is the MMA Complex. My name is Josh,
And I'm James.
and it is Monday, June the 18th, 2018, man. Another week. We just got finished watching Ronda Rousey's match over at Money in the Bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was
Yeah.
that this past Sunday, right?
Yeah.
It was she did good, man. She looks good. She sells the match well. She's hurt or
Yeah.
she's improved a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like, even if you watch her WrestleMania match was her first match. I mean,
Yeah.
she was like, I think that was the best match at WrestleMania. And then I think this was her first singles match
Yeah.
without anybody. And she put her own, man.
She was wrestling against
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax,
Yeah.
big woman. I didn't really expect it. She's got to be an Islander, island blood
And
because
she has to. She's a thick woman, because usually the WWE has like skinnier women
Yeah.
on the roster, but this is
she's very
she's a big one.
She's an attractive woman. But she's big, and you can't really see from just looking at her face. If you just saw her face, you wouldn't expect her to be such a big woman. But not so much like midsection. She's got big thighs, big. She's huge.
Yeah, they have her like in a row, like the girl Alexa Bliss who won
Yeah,
the title
she's
from
like
her.
5 foot. All right.
Yeah, well, she was like bullying her, fat shaming her,
Fat shaming her. Uh-huh.
and so they use it for the kids, like Nia Jax is the face for people who get bullied in school.
Oh, for
yeah,
plus size girls.
Yeah.
And all that. Yeah. Like
but then
body image.
she went total heel with Ronda Rousey, so
Yeah.
it was weird, but yeah, the match was good. It was a main event.
Ronda looked really
Yeah.
good. She looked amazing, and not in terms of just her wrestling, but she's in shape. She's in shape.
Yeah, she's in shape. Yeah,
The outfit doesn't hurt at all.
no,
She's
not
got
at
the
all.
little the sports bra and the little
Tights.
small tight little shorts.
Yeah, and there's the
Not
whole
bad at
Brock
all.
Lesnar thing with like wearing the gloves.
Yeah, I'm glad she's not wearing any gloves. I'm glad she. Well,
Yeah,
she didn't. wear,
no, she does.
Oh, she
but
did? But she
it's,
didn't
it's not
today.
it's not very noticeable.
But she's wearing
It's MMA gloves.
is it MMA? Was she
I think so. Maybe I can be wrong.
No, I didn't. She wasn't wearing any
Okay,
gloves.
okay.
Huh.
Okay.
Maybe the first match, but she wasn't.
Maybe
wearing
she
any
comes
gloves.
in and then she takes them off.
She takes them off.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know she's got the Roddy Piper jacket,
And then,
like the colors.
yeah.
But no, her hands I think were just taped,
Oh, okay.
but she didn't have any gloves on.
No, she's good. I mean, it takes from what I heard, it takes a long time to get used to the business and how to do things. But
Yeah, no, she's doing great.
but I
She
think
looks fantastic.
having the NXT facility, I mean, the performance center,
Yeah,
they're allowed to go there and have their match. Pretty much set up their match and go over it. Numerous times rehearse before the big show,
yeah.
and you can see that it helps.
Athletically, she does. I mean, I thought she did great. She,
And
the
this
match
is-
is
and
cool.
she-
She didn't win. Well, spoiler alert, but
Yeah.
she didn't win the match really. But it was
And she did pretty good bumps too. Like she took pretty good bumps.
Yeah.
Like she got ragdolled and thrown to the barricade a few times. And I was impressed.
yeah, I was impressed too. Did really well. I mean, I could see her going a long way. I don't think, you wonder if she would ever make the jump to MMA, back to MMA, but she said never. She's kind of like, what did she say? She's like, it's not in her plan, but she's not ruling out the possibility. But I don't think she will. But
No, I think she's being inducted in the Hall of
yeah,
Fame.
and she looks great, and so I'm like, nah, just stay at WWE. You're good. You
Yeah,
don't need
she
it.
seems like she's happy. And
Yeah.
then her husband Travis Brown loves it because he gets first row.
I wonder if what Travis Brown's gonna do. He's obviously not fighting right now. Do you think he'll make the jump?
I don't think so. I think
No?
maybe I just see him like want to like just be with his wife.
Yeah, he'll be a nice addition to the heavyweight WWE.
Oh, you mean
Like if he went to
WWE?
WWE,
Oh yeah. I mean that could be a possibility.
I think he'll do good.
Yeah, I mean he's huge. So
Yeah, he's a huge guy.
Vince,
know?
I mean Vince loves those big guys. So
Yeah, and then they could travel around with each other. That'll be
Yeah.
a lot more.
I thought you meant like Travis Brown going back to MMA.
Oh no,
I
I
would say
don't know
that
what he's doing
happening.
because he's not fighting right now. So I don't.
No.
He's not necessarily retired, but
No, I mean I don't see him going to MMA right now. I think he's
No.
content being with his wife, and he's almost like a Brian Caraway, where Ronda, like
Yeah.
he's just known as Ronda's husband.
it's crazy. Once they started going dating, they pretty much his career went downhill. He was at the top of the heavyweight.
Yeah, I
division.
mean once he went to Edmond, I think
Once he went
Edmond
to Edmonds, yeah,
destroyed his career because
Edmond destroyed his career.
Because before
for sure.
Edmond, he was using a lot of kicks in his fights, and he would be more aggressive. After it, I mean, he stopped kicking at all.
Hmm.
He just started. He just pretty
He
much just
didn't look as
punched.
aggressive anymore. He was just getting beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't look good at all. I mean,
You know, I often wonder how Edmund's doing since Ronda's out of his gym and he's just traveling the world with
well,
WWE.
one of his guys just fought with Triple G at the last event that they had. So his one of his guys stepped in for Canelo, and out of his gym. So Edmund was there, and he was
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah. So I mean, I guess he's just handling boxing now. Maybe hiring lower level fighters. Obviously, no high profile guys. But
I think the media too, huh? Like everyone's saying
oh, they trashed
how
him.
yeah
Yeah,
they trashed him, and I
his,
think
his reputation in
it's
MMA is
done.
done. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that still come out of his gym, but I think it's primarily boxers. I don't think there's any MMA guys.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, people might hate me saying this, but I mean, I think it's karma for him, like taking all the credit for Ronda. I
Yeah,
mean, Ronda was already a badass before she even.
yeah, because if you look at her style, she already had the takedowns and the jiu-jitsu and the judo, and all he provided was maybe a mentoring and a game plan and training camps, all like that. He built the, I
Because she
guess, her
always mentioned
confidence.
striking, but she only won one fight via knockout. I think the
Yeah,
rest was just she used what she already knew was the
but
grappling.
but then if her striking's not that great, what really did he do? You know what I mean? Like, did he
Yeah,
really improve her that much, or was he just kind of like guiding her career in the fight world? I'm thinking that's pretty much what he really did.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a good match, though. We just finished watching that right before we're
yeah.
starting
And,
the
and
show
then
here.
Saturday night, Shayna Baszler wrestled. That was man, she is so good.
Yeah.
She's a great heel.
And all the girls are over there, right? Jessamine Duke,
Yeah, they're there at the
Marina.
like in the audience.
Yeah.
They did the whole four
Yeah.
horsewomen, but it'd be weird because Ronda's a face, but Shayna's a total heel. So I don't know. They're saying
She like
that
the bad girl of the
that
group, I guess.
well, they're saying that they want to have all four of them be in a group and then Shayna turn on Ronda and have that as a match.
Ah, that'd be cool.
But Shayna's like everything Ronda's good. Shayna's double.
I've seen Shayna wrestle a couple times, like at least
She is
highlights. I've seen
so
her.
good. I
Yeah.
think she's a lot better than Ronda not only because she can wrestle, but
Yeah.
her talking is freaking great.
She's
And her facial expressions and she's such a badass. People hate her.
yeah. She's on the heel portion, right? I've seen her like highlights, and I've seen
Yeah,
her.
she's portrayed as this bully who thinks she's
Yeah.
all that because she comes from MMA.
Yeah.
And she punks like all the other wrestlers there.
Yeah.
She's so good. I love watching Shayna
Cool.
Baszler wrestle.
Yeah. No, I'm happy for them, man. They're doing pretty well, and they look good, and I mean it's a for sure thing with the industry.
And they're making money.
and they're making money. They're good.
Yeah.
They'd be fine. But yeah, that was a good match from Ronda.
Yeah.
Talking about I guess we're gonna stay with the WWE MMA thing for right now. So we haven't talked since, or we haven't talked about the fights a whole lot
Mm.
from 225. We haven't done a show since before that. Um, CM Punk, what do you think? Your breakdown of
Oh
the fight.
man, that's I wouldn't say it's the worst because I still put Dada 5000 and Kimbo Slice as the worst MMA fight that I've ever seen.
Or Kimbo,
And Dada,
or Kimbo and what's his name? Houston Alexander, was it?
and
Remember
that
that
was
one?
bad, but it wasn't as bad as
No.
Dada 5000. I think Dada 5 only because both guys are spent,
Mhm.
and I mean I think Houston Alexander was established already, and he was already
Yeah. That
he,
fight was
he was
hard to watch
he,
though. Houston was
you
like
know
circling around him the whole time.
yeah
Remember
no
that?
it was hard, but I still put Dada as the worst. This is CM Punk probably the
Tho-
second
I think
worst.
because those guys had the reason I probably put CM Punk and Mike Jackson as the worst of all time is because neither one of them have really a combat background. Whereas like
And you can tell
and you can tell. And the other guys,
it's
at least, yeah, they're like not the greatest athletes, but they have a combat type of
you
background.
know I saw it coming. I mean,
It was
if
bad.
if you
It
see
was bad.
if you watch CM Punk like shadowboxing before the fight,
Yeah,
oh, what the hell is that?
yeah, I saw that.
It was so bad. And then
Yeah.
like him like trying to throw a kick. It was
Oh,
like
that was horrible.
oh,
That was horrible.
I was embarrassed
It was
watching
so
it.
basic. It was so basic. It was
It just
like,
seemed like a kid off the street, trying to do a kick.
yeah, yeah,
He didn't put he was non-athletic in that fight,
not athletic.
and his striking looked really really awkward. Like, yeah,
He got tagged a lot. His hands were like this. He was so stiff.
yeah, and he
And
was gassed.
he was gassed.
Um, And you know, I hear people would say like he has a future in wrestling, but I think after that, I think it kills any
I,
credibility in wrestling.
I think so too. I think so
I
too.
mean, from losing to an MMA reporter go to wrestling, and then no way they can be booked to
No.
be a champion after that.
And how? Yeah.
It's
How can
embarrassing.
you go in there and be like the tough guy that beats up whoever
Yeah,
when they've really seen you fight
fight in a real fight against
and you
an
looked fucking
MMA
horrible?
and an MMA photographer.
Yeah, and you looked horrible doing it.
Because I mean, if you're gonna match up some CM Punk, that's his perfect matchup. Someone
Yeah.
with an 0-1 record, someone that's not a full time fighter,
Yeah. But
and if you can't beat a photographer in MMA, then
I mean,
I don't know
credit to I
what.
guess Mike Jackson. He had a little bit of experience, amateurs, at least a couple amateur fights,
I
a
mean, he
couple
didn't look
kickboxing
bad.
bouts.
I think he could have finished that fight a long time ago. I don't know why he chose not to, but
I think he wanted to get the most out of his
experience.
experience
I think he obviously didn't know why he didn't like it, and
and
I think
cockiness.
his chances of fighting
Oh
the UFC
no,
are
I didn't
gone.
like it either. I'm like, I'm sitting there. I'm thinking like, why do you think you have the right to be cocky? Uh,
When you're fighting CM Punk,
when you're fighting CM Punk, knowing that if you ever were to stay in the UFC, let's say for some reason they give him another shot, you would just get destroyed by anybody on the roster.
I mean, look at his previous fight against Mickey Gall. Mickey
Yeah,
Gall destroyed him.
destroyed him. So I'm like, why are you acting like you're all that when you know that you wouldn't last a minute against anybody else on the roster,
Especially at 170.
especially 170? Yeah,
Like it's like murder's real.
yeah, and I get why Dana White was upset. I was kind of like not upset, but like just like, come on, man, you're not.
But the
You have
whole
no
like
reason to be
the
showboating.
whole Dana White saying like it shouldn't be in the main card. Well, it shouldn't even be. It shouldn't have been in the main card. It
It
should have
shouldn't have
been
been there at all.
at
Like,
all.
yeah,
But we're in a different era of the UFC where they want to make big money fights
yeah.
or fights that they know they're going to sell pay per views, and unfortunately,
Unfortunately,
this is
it might
the
not. Have,
consequence.
yeah, it didn't. And we'll talk about the pay per view numbers right now. It didn't even sell that well. Like it
No,
went. I mean, I think the initial reports, on their end, the UFC statement was that those reports are false. That it's actually higher, but I don't think it's that much higher. If it is higher,
I
it's not
mean
that
I
much
don't
higher.
trust anything that the UFC
I don't
says.
either. And
It's like their lies.
and the statement came out from the UFC attorney, this mysterious attorney that keeps popping up every
Yeah,
now and then.
yeah,
I don't know who this
yeah,
attorney is, but
yeah. I mean, the only person you can trust on that is Dave Meltzer. He's a man
yeah.
with the numbers.
And
But
the
it was
numbers weren't
horrible.
good, which I feel bad for the rest of the card and the rest of the fighters because they're suffering because of it. Because that card was a pretty solid card, and especially the main event was amazing. Probably
Yeah,
one of the best fights since probably I would put it up with Jones and Gustafson. Like that
mhm.
was one of my favorite rivalries right there. Like
Yeah. I mean, I watched the whole card myself,
yeah,
prelims and the main card from start to finish. Well, I watched. I went back and watched the prelims, but I watched the main card all the way through.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean, take away that CM Punk fight, put the Blades, Curtis Blades, and Alice Overeem fight
yeah,
on there.
the two of Asa and Arlovsky, the Holly Holm and Megan Anderson,
Oh,
and
that
then
Megan Anderson was my favorite fight ever. I
how
loved every
big does she
minute.
look? She looked fucking gigantic, and I know she's
Yeah,
big. We talked to her in person. We've met her in person. We had a bunch of times on the show. She looked huge. She
yeah.
looked like what somebody said. She looked like an Avatar character, like the person from Avatar.
No,
She did.
she's huge, man. But I don't know, like looking like in hindsight, do you really see her? I mean, can you imagine what Cyborg would have done to her?
No, yeah, yeah. Cyborg would have, but
Ran through
Cyborg
her.
probably wouldn't have wrestled her that much, and maybe she would have had a chance on the feet.
I don't think so, man.
No, I don't think she would beat Cyborg anyway. But
Because
Home didn't really stand up on the feet with her too
yeah,
much. She just took her down.
but I think Cyborg's a smart fighter. Like she improvises well
Yeah,
in the cage, and I think she would have um
I still would like to see that fight.
yeah, me too. I think
I think they actually should
it's
still make that fight, but
it's
give her a shot.
oh not off a loss. No, I
No,
mean
I
no.
mean Cyborg needs a she needs
They
some
wouldn't
fresh
do it
meat.
one
No,
because the way she got beat. It's not like she just got beat and then it was a beat down,
she got dominated.
and it wouldn't be.
At least one win, one
And then
win.
it would
You know,
it would be a big risk for Cyborg. You know, imagine
losing.
what if she does lose to
Yeah,
Megan?
yeah.
It's a high. it's a high risk no reward fight for Cyborg.
That's true.
It doesn't make any sense. I think she should fight. I mean, the only thing is that who's she gonna fight? I mean, there's three girls in that division: Holly,
Yeah.
Cyborg, and Megan Anderson.
Yeah, there's nobody in that division. I don't know why they can't sign girls. I'm sure you can find plenty of girls. Just build them up. Nobody
Yeah.
knows who
But
anybody is.
I'm right now. I'm glad that there isn't any girls. I don't want her
Yeah.
to fight. I want her to.
Who?
I don't want Megan Anderson to fight.
Well, she probably will
So
fight. We'll see who
I'm
she
happy, and I hope next time she fights, she gets beat down even
can.
worse.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. This is what happens. See,
Yep.
you want to mess with us? This is what happens to you in
So
your career.
back to CM Punk. Like you've been training for what 4 or 5 years, right? Like full time, and
Yeah,
that's what you have to show. Like this,
yeah. I mean, you're right. I think training versus being in the cage are two
yeah.
different things.
But
I
I think
think.
anybody with real athletic ability
I mean,
should have improved
yeah,
way more than he actually
but he's not.
improved.
He's not like everyone else. He's 39 years old with a bunch of concussions, and a
Yeah,
bunch of injuries.
and obviously not a whole lot of
He's way
physical.
past. Yeah, attributes,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
way past his prime.
way past the prime.
So, I mean, that's all as
That's
far as you can
yeah,
get.
as far as he could get. Really, yeah, yeah.
I mean, and then that's what happens when you fight at the most elite of the UFC. He's lucky he even got a fight with someone of his record.
Yeah.
I mean, is he going to go back to the lower like league? And no, I don't think so either.
No,
He's
I
too
didn't.
big of a name. I think he should just call it quits, and then I don't know what the fuck he's going to do.
I
Maybe
don't know what he
be
does.
one of those wrestlers who I put up. I mean, bingo halls signing autographs.
Yeah, I don't know what he does from here. Obviously, MMA, it's gonna be you're not gonna succeed in MMA. It's
Well,
just, no.
he works for Marvel. He has this comic book that's published by Marvel.
I would go that route.
Yeah,
I would,
just
I would
yeah,
just yeah. You get
because you just ruined wrestling by your performance.
yeah. Ruined wrestling by your performance. Your image is gone. Your image is tarnished. I think
Yeah,
your
I
credibility
mean,
as a tough guy is
yeah, it's gone.
it's gone. It's gone.
I mean, respect for him for exposing himself and be willing to expose himself to the
Hmm.
masses. But yeah, I mean, if you can't beat Mike Jackson, then there's no way he should sit around. I mean, it'll be different if he was younger,
Yeah.
maybe like in his 20s, then he can go back to the drawing board. But 39 with concussions and injuries like that,
Now, in
just
terms of
stop.
the pay-per-view numbers, does that worry you hearing that such a high-profile card with such a stacked lineup can't break a good, a decent, respectable pay-per-view number?
No, I think a lot like even though people won't admit this, but in my opinion, I think the reason why it did so poorly is because the UL Romero fight wasn't for an official title.
Hmm.
It fell through, and then you got the interim title, which didn't make any sense at all. So you don't have a really solid championship on that card.
Hmm.
I mean, people were intrigued and still wanted to watch Yoel Romero versus Robert Whitaker, but when you don't have a title behind a fight, I think people lose interest,
Yeah.
and then they know that the interim title with RDA and Covington was a joke because Talon Willie was willing to fight in the summer. I don't even know why they even booked the interim title fight, but
So yeah, I'm surprised about the CM Punk. The fact that you had CM Punk, you had Holly Holm on there, and you had a great rematch with Whitaker and Romero. So you had the hardcores and the casuals, having people that they can and be anticipated to watch, be excited to watch, and the fact that it still didn't do well, like that surprised me. I was like, damn, you have all that star power because people know who those people are, and still didn't do well.
I think this was a hardcore MMA pay per view. I think CM Punk. I think people knew what to expect with CM Punk. They weren't really interested in CM Punk because kind of knew. I mean, there was an intrigue. Maybe he can do something, or maybe perform better. But I also think that CM Punk and how he fought last time, people would stop like having interest in that
Yeah.
fight. So I think that affected it. And again, I think people stopped caring about the Romero fight when he missed weight and he didn't. It
Hmm.
wasn't a title fight.
Yeah, that's yeah. And I know the first matchup that they had didn't do the great big pay per view numbers.
But
Um,
damn, It was an awesome fight though.
It was an awesome fight. I loved it,
I
man.
mean, you know what's crazy about 225 is like yeah, potentially fight of the year candidate
Yeah.
and worst fight of the year candidate all in one
All
card.
on one card. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that was we talked about the main event. I thought the main event was great. It was obviously a very close fight. People, when it's always close and there's a title on the line, people always,
But there was
you
no
know,
title on the line this time.
yeah, people. There wasn't really a title on the line, but in a way there kind of was. Like if Robert Whitaker lost his title or in some way lost a fight, he would have still kept
Review,
his title,
yeah.
but it
People
would have
review Robert. I mean,
they
you
would
know,
have viewed
Romero.
him differently. He would have had to fight rematch automatically again with Yorama just to solidify who actually is the real champion. But yeah, a lot of people were go back and forth in terms of who. It's one of those split down the middle type of fights. So, but for me, I know you scored it for Romero.
Yeah,
Um,
49-48.
for me, I had it Whitaker. Um, and for me, I thought if Romero, I thought for me the best outcome for Romero would have been a draw. Um, like I just also based on when I was watching it, I watched it with other people, and everybody was either confused on the outcome or had it for Whitaker. So
Hmm.
so they were like, I had it for Whitaker. A couple other people had it for Whitaker, and other people were just not sure of who was going to win. Um, but I figure also because Whitaker is a champion that were going to give him the nod because it's if it comes down to the judges, it's harder to take a title away from
Yeah.
the champ when there's no clear cut winner. So
Yeah, it was a close fight. I mean, I think like I told you before on when we spoke off camera is that
hmm
I mean the fourth round is the round that
yeah,
was the hardest to score.
that's the toss up round right there. I think.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I gave it to Romero is because that he dropped him on that round.
Yeah,
But it can go either
it could go
way.
either way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not a robbery. I mean,
I gave it to
I agree.
Whitaker just because I felt he controlled most of that round and he had more output. Um, and then he got dropped in the end, but he kind of survived the round. Um, so I think yeah, Romero's shots were dramatic and they were they're like he didn't throw a whole lot, but when he did, it was very
Yeah,
damaging. So it's very
and another reason why is because I think the last impression for the judges, the last sequence of
yeah
the round.
yeah
That's why I thought they would have given it to him. But
yeah.
I'm not. Like I don't disagree with the call.
No.
I think it was a close
If
fight.
anything,
I couldn't win.
my respect for both fighters is, I mean, I was always a fan of Whitaker and Romero, but
Dude, Whitaker threw some shots. Oh
Whitaker
my god.
Whitaker, I think might be my favorite fighter right now. Like I was already a fan of his just based on how he carries himself and how his performance is, but just how the will and toughness of that guy to just you beat the monster of the division twice
Yeah, that's hard to do.
and 5 rounds each, and it's tough. And you get hit, most guys would just be out. Most guys would just go down.
I mean, look at Luke Rockhold. What
Yeah, look
happened
at
when he got hit?
Rockhold, Weidman. Look at
He
all those guys.
folded.
They all fold,
Yeah.
and Whitaker was just like he was
Yeah.
aware. Just yeah,
I
I loved
mean,
it.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Max Holloway is my favorite fighter now. I think
Yeah,
Whitaker is number two for me. But you're right. I mean, he took some bombs from Romero, and props to Romero too. I mean, he came in like in pain, dehydrated.
yeah,
He cut a lot of weight for nothing,
yeah.
and the way he performed, I didn't at 41 years old is insane.
Insane. And he's so like explosive. It's like it's crazy because he was like just not doing much, and then he would just bam. He just like it's
Yeah,
so quick, man.
yeah,
It was a great fight, a classic fight. I think
yeah,
one of the best of all time. I think I would put it up there. The best rivalries that they have
yeah.
going on. Um, but that card was great. Now coming off of that fight, I know Romero is suing the commission because they cut his weight cut time limit short, as much as he's saying. So there's that. They're gonna have to deal with that. Whitaker is obviously has a broken hand, so he probably won't fight to the end of the year. I don't know
That's
how
the reason
bad it
Achilles
is.
heel, huh? He's always injured.
He's always injured, but I mean, to give him credit, he's fighting Romero
Yeah.
5 rounds. He's almost fought a whole hour.
No. I mean, I agree. It's just that
It's
with,
hard.
with each injury, you're going to be gone for a
Yeah,
certain amount of time,
yeah,
and that's going to hurt you.
yeah, yeah. But it seems like every time he fights Romero, it's such a hard fight. Like he just gets injured.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
fought other people and has not gotten injured, but when he fights
Yeah.
Romero, it's like comes out with a broken bone or
That
something.
guy's like he's a colossus, man.
Yeah, something. Yeah, and I don't blame him. I mean, how can you not get injured against a guy like that?
Yeah.
Um, so there's a lot of things going on. You have Wonder Boy is calling for. I think his MCL was torn. He's calling for that the front or the knee shots. You know those
The
side
lead kick.
the oblique kicks. He wants them banned. I don't know how do you feel about that?
I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, like it's hard to change the rule in MMA.
Yeah.
It's a long process. I don't know.
I
I
could see
mean,
his case for it because there's not a whole lot of damage that comes from it, and most of it's
yeah. I mean, no, I agree. I
you're
mean,
trying to wound
I
your
mean, I can
opponent.
see the argument too. But
Yeah,
I mean, we're dealing with commissions who don't even unify their like the same rules,
yeah,
and for them to change like that. The last time they changed the rules, it was like since it was them changing the rules since the beginning of MMA.
yeah.
So for them to go back and change it again, I don't see it happening anytime soon.
No,
If it's gonna happen, then it's gonna be years down the line.
yeah.
I don't see it happening anytime
And
soon.
the oblique kick is kind of like a newer style of
Yeah,
offensive.
John Jones kind of
Yeah, he
introduced
kind of
it.
introduced it. So I think it's something to be reviewed.
No, definitely. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either, especially not anytime soon. And yeah, the rules, it's like fighters have to be aware of like what rules apply in
To
each
what
state that
state? Yeah,
it's a
it's called
mess.
unified, but no one's. But there's nothing unified about it.
No, it's a mess because not everybody follows the same rules, and it's like what do
Yeah.
you do? So there was that. Who do you think should Robert Whitaker should fight next? Gastelum or Weidman?
Um, I say Gaslam only because we've seen the Whiteman fight already.
Hmm.
Gaslam's a fresh fight. Um, even though I think Whiteman was winning before he got knocked out, he was doing pretty good against
Yeah,
Romero.
but Weidman beat Gastelum
Gaslam,
though.
yeah. I mean, I know that, but it's a fresh
It's a
matchup.
fresh matchup. I like that matchup though. I like the
Yeah,
Gastelum.
and then if Gaslam loses, then bring Whiteman in, but let
Yeah,
Whiteman maybe either sit in silence and fight one more time so he can
yeah.
be the number one contender. But I think Gaslam should get the next crack.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to see that matchup. Well, depending on Whitaker, we probably won't even see anybody in fight for the middleweight title
Well,
anytime
they
soon.
might even do an interim fight
An
with
interim
between
fight.
Whiteman and Gaslam.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully Whitaker's. I know he's young still. Hopefully his career doesn't go the route of a Cain Velasquez. I would
Yeah,
hate to see that.
that's the yeah.
He's kind of got that aura of like a Cain at a young age, but we'll see. Hopefully he doesn't get too damaged. In other news, you had the Contender Series is starting. You had Greg Hardy and former NFL player. A lot of scandal around this guy. A lot of controversy around him even being in the UFC, allowed to fight for the UFC. Now he's in the UFC. Do you think it's a bad move for the UFC to sign a guy like that?
I think so. I think that the word MMA is already has a black guy in mainstream media, and when you see um, the UFC, bring in someone with that shaded past, I mean, it gives these mainstream media outlets fire to just
Yeah,
talk crap about how bad mixed martial arts is and the UFC. Now Dana White's a complete hypocrite. If you remember, I think it was in 2014, he said that once you put your hands on a woman, your career is done.
yeah.
And then now he's just saying that it's
Everybody
fine.
deserves a second chance.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean he it's obviously he's saying that because he knows that Hardy has a name and
yeah.
he,
It'll sell tickets.
he's gonna bring
Yeah,
ticket sales for sure. But I think that you're just giving these outlets an opportunity to talk down about MMA and just
yeah.
make the sport look bad.
Yeah. I don't think he should be allowed to fight in MMA, but also part of me is curious to see how somebody of that athleticism coming from a high level of another sport, how they would do. So that part of me is still curious about how he will actually do. And he seems like to be
Because
a decent fighter.
yeah, because I think no matter how good you are, I
Yeah.
think that is always going to be part of your story and part of your past.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he's
One
the
of the
best
biggest,
boxers
yeah,
ever,
highest
but
paid athlete in the world.
people still bring up his past.
Yeah.
So I
Hmm.
think that's not really going to leave him.
It's not.
I think he can still be a great fighter slash athlete. I don't think I think what he did is gonna follow him for
Oh yeah,
the rest of
definitely.
his career.
But now that he's in the UFC, I'm curious to see how he'll do because we don't
Yeah,
have
no,
a
me
lot of
too.
high level, high profile athletes from other sports coming into the sport.
Yeah,
Um, at least not outside of the martial arts style sports.
yeah.
So I'm curious to see how he will do, how that athleticism transfers over.
Well, we had like Manny Cho and Brandon Shaw, but they weren't high level football players. I mean, they
They
were in the NFL, but they weren't recognized.
No, they weren't recognized, not as much as this guy was. And then I know there's a bunch of other NFL players that are interested. You had other people that had backgrounds like OSP, Brandon Shaw, Mitrione. They have had backgrounds too. But I'm curious to see how those level of athletes get drawn into the
I
MMA.
mean, it's a new breed of athletes coming in.
Yeah. So if you spend 2 to 3, 4 years in the NFL, let's say you're 28, 29, the league, you're not getting a whole lot of opportunities in the league anymore. You're still young enough to fight. I mean, that'll be pretty interesting to see what some of those guys come
Yeah,
over.
it's a good avenue. It's just that it's gonna be all the guys who
Yeah,
couldn't cut it for the NFL.
yeah. But I'm talking about that level of athleticism coming
Yeah,
into the. I'm curious to see how more of those guys come in, how it changes the game up a little bit.
yeah.
You know,
I still see him lose to the top guys.
I think so too. Yeah,
Yeah,
because those guys, yeah, because you fight guys that have trained
all their lives.
all their lives. I mean, and they're gonna beat you in some way,
They have
even though
collegiate like wrestling backgrounds and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, he might be a good puncher, but when you fight a guy like, let's say, Glover Teixeira,
Or Stipe.
or a
I
Stipe,
mean, like what Stipe did to Francis Ngannou.
yeah, yep. So, and you see how the guy like Stipe, who comes from multiple sports, did well collegiagely, and he comes into MMA, how well he's done. So
Mhm.
it's like people that excel in other sports.
Yeah, it's just an evolution of fighters that we see in
Yeah,
2018, and we're gonna
which
see a lot more.
yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm obviously this guy is a checkered past. I'm not really up on him being in the sport or whatever, but I mean, I'm curious to see how well somebody like that does. This weekend, let's get to fight picks. You have
Let's wait. I want to get your thoughts on
yeah.
Kobe Covington and RVDA.
Oh yeah. Surprised. I was.
Oh my
I
God,
did
Jesus
not
Christ! No,
expect
me neither.
Kobe. I mean, Kobe. He almost like chill against Anderson. Almost he talked all this shit and he backed it up.
Yeah.
Like he put the pressure on RDA.
I
Like
thought after the first round, there's no way in how he can keep his pace up,
yeah,
and
he
he
kept it
never
up.
let down.
He never let down.
And
And
RDA is known for his conditioning.
yeah, and he did not let RDA get off not once. And it was like
It was super impressive.
super impressive. Like even though his nothing was like it was just the pressure, the constant pressure.
And
I was impressed.
and the way he switched from like his striking to his grappling was
Yeah,
phenomenal. I mean,
like
I'm eating. I ate all my words.
like
I mean,
he knew he had to show up, and I mean he showed up. He showed up and he put his game plan in, and he forced RDA to play his game, and I mean
complete domination.
shut up all the trash talkers, all the haters.
Yeah,
Like he really did.
it's insane. I mean, this is the best thing that can happen to Tyron Woodley. I mean, like you can have he's made his foil,
Hmm.
and you know, Tyron's the kind of guy who doesn't like to talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, he's
And
got his heel.
he's
Yeah,
like kind of boring leading up to his
yeah,
fights. You can have a guy picking at you and picking at you and picking at you. And we're gonna see how tough
yeah,
Woodley is mentally. I still pick Woodley in that fight,
yeah.
but
I
God,
think he does better. I think he's better in all the areas that
yeah,
Kobe's fights at.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
But that lead up was gonna be epic, and I think that it's gonna make both those guys a lot of money,
Oh yeah.
which is
Oh
good.
yeah. People are going to be excited to really see a Tyron
People
Woodley
hate
fight.
Woodley. I mean, Kobe Covington.
Colby Covington.
They hate him, and they like legit hate him.
I mean, but his performance made me wonder how well he would do against Tyron Woodley. I think it's not an easy fight for Tyron at all.
No, it's not. I just think that Willie hits so hard,
Yeah.
and I think he's a superior grappler,
Yeah.
and he's just so thick and so strong.
And quick.
Yeah,
He's got that
I
he's
don't
got that
know.
Romero kind of spurt.
But
Of,
I think Kobe Cummins is gonna make him fight. I think we see Woodley, take his time in the cage and pick his shots. I think with him, he's gonna be fighting backwards a lot. He's gonna bring the fight to Woodley,
yeah.
and that's gonna be exciting to see.
That's going to be exciting to see. I'm curious. Yeah. Again, I'm curious to see how fight's going to go, and I wonder when they're going to do that fight.
I mean, hopefully in the summer because Kobe's ready.
Yeah.
Woodley's
Hopefully in
ready.
the summer.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully in the summer, early fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so fight picks. Yeah, the contender series coming up tomorrow. Um, you have PFL, the second event with Phil Brooks headlining it. That's this weekend too, the 21st. You have LFA on the 22nd. Allen versus Crow on Access TV, and you have one championship. You have a title fight going on there that has Andriano Marias. That's a good card right there. One FC, and you could just download the app for One FC and watch all their fights. It's free. Which I got to do that. UFC Fight Night 132, Cowboy versus Leon Edwards. And I don't know that much about Edwards, man.
Yeah,
But
neither do I. I was just about to say the same thing.
he's one of those guys that I don't know that much about. He doesn't have a whole lot of like. I know he's doing really well, but he doesn't have a whole lot of push behind him. The undercard is decent. A lot of not so familiar names in terms of fights. A lot of newcomers. A lot of guys have, you know, they're bursting onto the scene. A whole lot of big names on this card. Even on the main card, you have Dachi Abe and Leong Jalong. Don't know who those guys are. Jessica Rose, Clark, and Jessica I, which is a good fight. Let's go with that one. Who do you have? Jessica I, Jessica Rose, Clark.
Just guy.
I'll probably go Jessica I too. I think she'll bounce back. I don't know if she suffered a loss on her last one or not. Tyson Pedro Ovidse Peru.
OSP.
OSP. I'll probably go OSP too. I know Tyson's doing really well, but I'll go OSP. Cerrone versus Leon Edwards.
I'm going to go with Leon Edwards. For the hell of it.
I think I might go with Leon Edwards too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this fight's from Singapore.
For Singapore.
I know. I really want to go to Singapore. This is pretty fun out there. But yeah, that's it. That's Thursday. Thursday's a PFL card. It's on MSNBC, so I'll probably watch that too. But oh no, that's it. That's our show. Thank you guys for listening, watching on YouTube. Go to MMAcomplex.com to get all things MMA Complex. And just to let you guys know, we also have shirts, brand new shirts.
Ooh.
Just came in.
Ooh, yes.
Some nice design, black and blue MMA Complex shirts. So we'll be introducing those soon.
Super excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can check us out on social media. You can follow me on Twitter, MMA Complex James, JYMZ. You can follow him on Twitter, MMA Complex Josh, and the show on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all under one name, the MMA Complex. Yeah, I mean, there's a fight in Singapore coming up this weekend. We'll talk about it, break it down, and hopefully get some guests for you guys on the next episode. So until then, enjoy the fights and enjoy your week.